Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chrissy and this is my cozy corner. Actually just got back from a family photo shoot for Christmas with my son and my husband. I do photography on the side. I'm a teacher, photographer, amateur YouTuber, booktuber, jack of all trades over here. But anyway, so I just kind of set the camera up on a tripod and took some pictures with my family over at a tree farm in Chesapeake. So I'm really excited to post those images, and I'll insert some on the screen so you could see, because I'll have them edited by the time this video comes out. So in this video, I'm going to be working on my Christmas romance book TBR. So if you watched my Christmas romance book recommendations, it also had my TBR in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap them up in wrapping paper, and I'm going to label them 1 to 8, and then I'm going to randomly spin a wheel. So on my phone, I just went to the website number picker wheel. It's called picker wheel. And I'll again insert an image, and then I just put in that I wanted 8 because I have 8 books. So when I go to pick my book, it's going to pick it randomly for me. All going to be labeled by number, and then I'm going to spin and show you. So let's first get started on like the wrapping of these, and then I will pick my first book that I will be able to get started on today. Okay, so I have wrapped all 8 of the Christmas TBR books, and now I'm going to spin to see which one I'm going to read first. I'm going to read all these books and review them in this video as well. So we got our spinner here, and I'm just going to spin it right here on the screen so that you guys can, so you know that I'm not cheating. Not like I remember any of the books that I wrapped anyway besides Spectacular. All right. It is number 4. Is it 4? Just so you guys can see. All right, let's see what number 4 is. Okay. It's gonna be the first book I read. Okay, my guess is, I think it's going to be A Season for Second Chances, based on the way that it feels. Ooh, I'm gonna do some guessing like we do at Christmas time. Let's guess the present. I think it's gonna be A Season for Second Chances. It kind of, I don't know. I might be wrong, but anyways, we're gonna go with that. Here we go. Oh, this is so exciting. So fun. Oh yeah, this one is hard, and this is actually kind of convenient because my book club is reading this month, but I actually didn't even plan to read it until right before book club so that it was fresh in my memory. So I kind of didn't want it right away, but that's okay. Hey, you know what? That's fine. All right, so we're gonna read, it's the How the Grump Saved Christmas. So we'll get comfy, read, and then give you some updates like I normally do. Okay, so I have started How the Grump Saved Christmas, and I'm only about 1/5 of the way in, but I am enjoying it so far. But really quickly, let's like take a minute and clap for this cover. I mean, we have an old school truck here, we have the evergreens, and then the farm and the snow. Like, what more could you ask for in a beautiful romance or Christmas romance cover? Like, this is like so festive. I love this cover. It might be one of my favorite Christmas romance covers. I don't smell any cheese yet. But you know what? It's a Christmas romance, and I think they warrant a little bit of cheese. It's completely fine if there ends up being some in there. So this is about Elias and Isabel. Isabel and her family own a farm that is kind of like in debt right now because they have this Christmas village that is so spectacular, but it's only obviously like 2 months out of the year that it's up and running. And then Elias works for a company that is trying to buy it out to build a different like structure there, like company in that area, and she's refusing. But the catch is she has known Elias since they were kids, and they were sweethearts in high school. Well, it didn't say they were sweethearts yet. I'm assuming they were, but they did date in high school. I think they were like first loves, and she hasn't seen him in 10 years. So he never lived there before, but his parents ended up sending him to Isabel's town when he was like 11 years old. And that's kind of how like they grew up and got to know each other. And I don't have enough of their backstory yet to go into any more detail, but I love that. I am just a sucker for a second chance. Like my favorite trope in any like just contemporary romance is going to be every single time friends to lovers, childhood friends to lovers. It's always been you, second chance. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read some more of this because I am thoroughly enjoying myself. Okay, so I finished How the Grumps Save Christmas, and the title is perfect because the male main character is so grumpy and grinchy. It was funny in some parts, like especially the way he responded to kids because he didn't really understand them that well. I thought that was pretty funny, but we left off with me telling you how Isabella and Elias, Isabella is the female main character, had a past, broke up, and you don't really know what happened. Now, what I did like about the story is going back into their past, the very short time that we were in their past. Like it was like two, maybe, I can't remember how many little flashbacks. There might have been like 3 or less. Like not too many, but one of them does touch on a subject that really like, I don't want to spoil anything, but kind of hit home for me, or not necessarily hit home, but I could definitely feel for the female main character. And if you read it, you will understand. And that was really sad. But other than that, like I wasn't obsessed with the romance. I wasn't obsessed with the story. The whole like him or his company trying to buy out the tree farm was fine. But I just didn't feel a strong connection between the two of them. Maybe if we had like more of a past to present timeline, it would have built a stronger connection. But like I didn't really know of too much of their connection in the past because we don't get a lot of those past moments to really feel like strongly about it. So when they finally kissed, or you know, there was a spicy scene, I didn't care. I didn't feel anything from it, which is not really a good sign for a romance. But I do think it was solid and it was enjoyable and it was fun. So I think I'm gonna give it a 3-star. It is not one that I feel like if you're gonna read Christmas romance books, this is definitely not like high up on my list. Like it's still a good old fun time. So now it is time to pick our next pick. So I gotta get my wheel out. I got my wheel and I have it numbered 1 through 8, but since I already selected one of them, the number 4, I'm gonna have to hit exclude number 4. So I'm going to type in here at the bottom where it says exclude 4, and then we're gonna spin here, and I can't remember any of the books. I know one by its shape, so I'm not gonna even know, but I'm gonna try to guess. All right, so let's see. All right, we have excluded number 4, and we're getting ready to spin to find out, and they're numbered. So here we go. All right. Is that on 3? Yep. All right, 3. All right, let's see what 3 is. I know this one is spectacular because the shape is the only hardcover in here. That's number 1, and I wanted that one. We didn't get that one though. So I could not tell you what number 3 is. I couldn't tell you what this one is. Let's make a guess. It's pretty small. I think it's going to be the Orphans Christmas one because it's so small. So that's what I'm gonna guess for it. 5 or 3 is gonna be the Orphans, but I think I'm gonna guess it's the Orphans Christmas one. All right, let's see what we got. Opening it up. This is so fun. Oh no. We did not get the, I was wrong, but I am excited about this one because I hear so many good things. This is going to be the Christmas Bake Shop. It's a Christmas at the Cupcake shop. Okay, so we have ran into an issue. Christmas at the Cupcake Cafe is actually the second book in a series. I found this out because I went to check it as currently reading on Goodreads last night, and it said number 2. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just like a standalone in like the same universe. And then I looked it up, and you cannot read this one without reading the first one because the relationship is already established. So we're gonna have to spin again. All right, so let's see what we spin this time. And I had to hit exclude 4 and 3, so I went ahead and just already typed that in before the video even started. Number 2. What is number 2? Oh. All right, here's number 2. What are we going to be reading? Oh, I meant to guess before. It's too late now. I wanted to guess before. I wouldn't have guessed this one. Actually, well, I didn't even give myself a chance. But it's The Season for Second Chances. I actually heard this one was sad, but I mean, I've had it on my shelf for a very long time, so it's probably good that I go ahead and read this now. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I believe she's like divorced or something. Whether that has to do with her second chance with like her ex-husband or maybe somebody else from her past, I guess we will find out. So let's get started on this, and I will update you, you know, a couple times throughout the book. Okay, so I've been reading A Season for Second Chances, and I think when I left off with you guys, when I started the book, I hadn't actually begun reading it, but based off the title, I was like, oh, maybe the second chance is with the husband or somebody from the past. I definitely don't think it's the husband because this is not a spoiler. I didn't really read the back of the book until after I kind of started the book, but it starts right off the bat with like her husband had cheated on her, so she kind of wants a new start in life. So she ends up getting a position as a winter guardian, kind of at like a little house by the sea, by the sea. I mean, you could see it in the picture. And there's a lot of other characters coming in and out. There's not like a big romance plot. I feel like this is more maybe of a literary fiction, but I'm enjoying it so far. I recognize the author's name. I actually read one other book by her. It was The 12 Dates of Christmas. I didn't like that one. Actually, in my Christmas romance recommendation video, I talk about romances, and I'll link it down below, that are Christmassy, that I recommend, ones I don't recommend, and ones I'm going to hopefully read this Christmas season. And that was actually under one of the ones I don't recommend, but so far I'm actually enjoying this one better. I don't mind that there's not a big romance plot. I like the wintry things that are doing. I like that the main character is in her 40s and she has children who are older, so like I'm 33, not that I say I can like relate to 40s, but I do like that the character is older because you get a lot of like 20, 25, maybe a little upper 20s when you read romance books or books in general. That's kind of the age range you get for characters. So I really like that about the book, and I do like how the main character, I feel like, is not really like, actually I don't want to say that, that's a spoiler. Anyways, we're going to finish this and then I will update you in just a bit. So I have finished A Season for Second Chances, and the way I felt about this book, I feel like the best way to describe it is like just like sipping on like a warm cup of coffee. The pacing was not fast. It was kind of slow, just like sipping coffee, but like the warmness of it, it's like comforting, relaxing, I guess. Sometimes it was too relaxing at times. I will say I zoned out a couple times, and like, I don't want to say it put me to sleep, but I liked overall this book. I liked the main character, Annie. I like how she is in her 40s and she's like, my husband cheated on me and this is my time to just restart. It's not too late. So she sees Elise for this like cute little seaside home, and she's like, I'm leaving the big city life, I'm going. So when she goes to this little town, it's like very small town vibes, like lots of cute quirky characters. And it's not really like a romance. It's not about her falling in love. There is a side plot of romance. She does fall in love. But my gripe with the last book by Jenny Bayliss was it was a romance. She's going on dates and dates and dates, and it took her the whole book to realize the guy that she was actually into, and they had like hardly any time together. Plus I didn't even like the guy in it anyway. But anyway, this one is more of her love for this town, falling in love with this town and finding herself. And that is what this was about, and I like that it was different. And the little side plot of romance was fine. Like, it was cute. I wasn't obsessed with it. I liked watching her second chance at life journey. So this, a season for second chances, I feel like the guy on the cover is a little misleading because the second chance is more her like personal individual self, like her independent doing what she wants to do. And this is a whole side plot right here. This is just a whole like sub side plot deal. So I think, oh, one more thing that I really liked about this book that I thought it was really cute was she's in like a book club with some ladies, and it's like a Victorian book club. And I was like, this is so much fun because I'm in a book club. I love books. I loved it. And they end up talking about a bunch of other stuff. And I feel like that happens when I go to book clubs sometimes too. So I really found that to be relatable. That was really cute. But overall, I'm gonna give this a 3.5 star because it wasn't like I was like obsessed with it, but I liked it. I did like it. So 3.5 stars is I liked it. I would recommend it, but not if you're really looking for like a romance, but like a very much like self-discovery type of character-driven book. So now it's time to spin for the next one. I think I'm gonna make this the last one. I know it's only 3 books, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I want to make sure I get it posted by Sunday because as of right now it is Wednesday. So if I don't hurry up and read the next book, I won't be able to post this on Sunday. So just being fully transparent there with that. So let's go ahead and do the next book. Having a full-time job like as a teacher makes it impossible to read as much as like the full-time booktubers can. So that's kind of why, anyway, y'all don't need to know all that. But so I have picked 4. There's like hair on here. So I have picked, oopsie. I had to exclude 4 because that was the first book I read, How the Grumps Saved Christmas. I had to exclude 3 because that was the second book in a series and I couldn't read it. And the book I just read was 2, so let's spin and see what we get. If this says 1, I'm gonna like scream. I already know what number 1 is, and that is the one I've been wanting to spin since I started this video. The very first book is spectacular. I mean, let's open it to make sure, but like, this is definitely spectacular. I'm so excited because this is the one that I wanted to read this whole time. So this is so perfect, but we might as well open it anyway. Like every single time I spun, I never got it. Imagine like thinking you got it last time, but actually didn't get it. And it's my special edition copy. This just made my day. This just made my day. All right, let's go read Spectacular. This is the little like novella, so it's 3.5 in the Caraval trilogy. So we are here to visit our friends Julian and Scarlett and Donatella and Legend. We are visiting them, even though Jax was my favorite character in Caraval and in Once Upon a Burning Heart, but I still really love Caraval, so this is exciting. Okay, so I finished Spectacular last night. I read it all in one sitting, super fast. I think it was like under 2 hours. I can't remember the exact time it took me to finish this, but it was pretty quick, but it's not really saying much because there's like illustrations. That's just the map, but they got like illustrations, beautiful illustrations on lots of pages, and like the words are pretty, you know, spaced out, and there's not like too many words on a page, so it went by pretty quickly. I can definitely say it's not exactly what I expected, but kind of. So let's start with the things that I liked about it. The first thing is the illustrations. They're absolutely gorgeous, like not even a 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5. so beautiful. This is actually the Owlcrate edition of Spectacular, but there is the original like Barnes & Noble edition, which also has the illustrations throughout. The difference is when you pull this off right here, I'm not sure if the other edition has like the poster of the crew. On the front it says, "Be careful what you wish for. Holiday magic is a real thing," which is a common saying throughout the book. And then on the back it says, "No one dreams on Great Holiday Eve," another common thing that they say throughout the book. It's the one day each year that dreams escape. And they do keep saying that throughout. So you open it up, and I know the inside is different on the Barnes & Noble cover. And then you have, this is the back with Tella and Legend. I like Tella a lot. Legend's okay, and I'll get to that in a minute. And cute little like bookmark thing, which I didn't obviously use too much since I sat down and read it in one sitting. But then we have these sprayed edges with the Owlcrate edition right here, which are really beautiful. So that is one of my favorite things about the book, is the beauty of it, and then the illustrations throughout. Like here's one of Legend, which is really, really good. And what it reminded me of that I love so much is a Christmas storybook when you were a child. Just the look of it and the feel of it in the beginning did. All right, I wanted to put my desk jacket back on real quick while I talked about it, but going back to the beauty of the book and just the vibe of the book was just top tier, absolutely amazing. And it reminded me of when my grandma would read me like a Christmas story before bed, a Christmas storybook. Like it really felt like when I was just sitting in her lap or sitting beside her, even the table of contents, and it was just a cute, magical Christmas story. And each chapter is so fitting and festive. Snow globes and Granny's cookies is one of them. And there's like illustrations even in the middle of some of the chapters. So cute, Christmassy. And the story in general in the beginning felt so magical. Everything felt magical, but it wasn't like, it was very innocent magical, like very much, like I said, like a children's storybook. The general vibes and Christmas feel of this book, the magic, the explanation of things that were Christmassy, snow globes and dancing ballerinas. It was a 5 out of 5 for that. One more thing that I liked about the book, I thought the beginning was very strong. Like the first half of the book was strong as far as super Christmassy, super fun. And you get to the middle of the book and it just kind of gets weird, I feel like. I gave it a 3-star, and spoilers for why I gave it a 3-star. I am not a huge Legend fan. When I was reading Caraval and Tella became the main character, I was really missing Scarlett and Julian. I really liked their story much better. Then when we got to Tella, I liked Tella as a character, but I was rooting for Jax the whole time. Never really cared for or liked Legend. And it was very much a lot of Tella and Legend, and we only checked in on Julian and Scarlett like a tiny bit, just a little bit, but what we got of them was great. She ends up getting kidnapped, and it's very obvious that Legend is the one that kidnaps her and is pulling the strings, which kind of makes it worse that it's obvious, and I was kind of hoping it wasn't him. On one end, I hoped it was because it got a little weird, and then I hoped it wasn't because then he kind of gave me like the ick, creepy vibes. But there is like a whole letter thing that happens, which makes you kind of realize why. On top of all that, he gives up his immortality in Caraval for Tella, and he is supposedly, I mean, not as magical. Like he's supposed to lose a lot of magic, but still he retains some magic. But I felt like the strings he was pulling in the book required more magic, and then Tella keeps saying there's like this look about him, So I'm wondering if we're gonna have another book that maybe a novella or some other book, maybe Legend gets his magic back. I don't know, something was really weird about that whole situation. And then she questioned his love the whole time, like, does he love me? She was reading books about, does he love me? She wanted to make sure she got him the best gift ever because she was feeling kind of weird and distant from him. So I thought that whole thing was like kind of weird to me. Like it wasn't bad, it just was like weird. But it was a quick read, it was enjoyable. Still will read anything Stephanie Garber puts out, and it's worth the read. It's still worth the read. I think this one is more for the fans of Caraval, so if you didn't like Caraval, you won't like this, in my opinion. But if you want just such good holiday vibes, this is perfect. But obviously you can't read it unless you have read Caraval. So yeah, those are the books that I read. So this was a lot of fun having to spin a wheel and unwrap, and not knowing what I was unwrapping was so thrilling and kind of nerve-wracking, I must say. So I hope you did enjoy this video, and it's kind of a bummer that I didn't have any 4 or 5 stars, but I feel like I kind of expect that with like Christmas books. So they're just like cute, fun vibes is what they're supposed to be, and that is what I got in this video. So I do post videos every Sunday. I will see you next week. Bye guys.